Welcome to another episode of Welcome to the Woods with the Wolf, of course. I got my man here, Tremaine. He's going to help moderate the discussion.
Thank you for having me, man.
For sure. It's going to be another deep discussion, bro. I know we probably going to get kicked off the internet just because we just keep talking about this stuff.
Ooh.
But I love it, man. I'm a deep individual. You're a deep individual. And hopefully our viewers are deep individuals. And
Right.
they can relate and bring some topics of their own in the comments because I promote this stuff on Facebook and I got all kind of comments on my last reparations video.
Uh-oh.
But I went in with them because it was true. I believe what I say. And if I'm wrong, I'm open to the suggestions and see what, to help correct what I'm saying because I don't know everything in the world. I think everybody's watching, so we should all learn together instead of trying to fight each other. But today I wanted to talk about police brutality because if you were in Shreveport, Louisiana, if you heard about certain things that have happened recently, probably two things I want to talk about recently that happened that involved crime and cops and things that you did not expect to happen was an end result between cops and civilians here. But to start off, the first statement I wanted to say, which is probably a strong statement, is that cops should not be handing out death penalties on the street. Like, I think it's their job to get individuals to the courthouse, to the jailhouse, where they could, in front of a court of law, to say if they're convicted of a crime or not. That should not be handled on the streets. People should not be down on the streets by cops. And that's the end of it to me because it's like, not necessarily the end of it, obviously, because we just started, but if you got people running, selling drugs, selling cigarettes, just walking, that does not deserve death penalty. You should be able to get to a courthouse or to a jailhouse. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're causing harm to that cop, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But some of those instances do not cause for death penalties on the street. Like, you're not given the chance to see a court of law, a judge, or a jury to fight for your favor. And we should all have that right. So that was the first thing I want to say. How do you feel about that statement, Tremaine?
I absolutely agree, bro. Cops should not have the authority that someone lives and dies if their lives are not in danger and at that moment.
Right.
If there's not any audio or visual representation, I'm going to say visual, not even audio. If there's not any, I'm going to say visual and not audio. If there's not any visual representation of a officer life being in danger, clear representation, then no life should be took.
Yeah, exactly.
No life should be took.
I'd rather you not arrest a person. I'd rather you lose what you were looking for than you take a life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man, I actually pulled up some stats and, we talk about police brutality and I looked at some statistics of police brutality. Well, I'm going to say people who are killed by race, by police. I wouldn't necessarily call it police brutality in this statistic, but it's just the number of people, the ratio of race that are killed by police. So we have white people at a rate, it says, and this is what it says, white people at a rate of 15 per 1 million. Police kill Hispanic people at a rate of 28 per 1 million.
Okay.
And police kill black people at a rate of 38 per 1 million, which pretty much means that black Americans are more than 2 to 5 times as likely to be killed by police than white people.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even, that is.
So, man.
And that dares their argument because, we're gonna speak freely of different races here, and obviously none of us are racist at our heart. But a lot of white people have told me that, police kill white people just as much. You know what I'm saying? And my answer always been to that. If, marching the streets. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that on the TV, on the news. I don't see black officers killing white individuals on the street as much as I see people who look like me with the same gender as me killing. And a lot of times we are unarmed. So it's like, dang, like they're really hunting us. So so if you're white and you feel like, your race is being hunted out here, please do exactly what I'm doing right now and speak up against it because I'm not discriminating between it. But like my friend just read here, he read the statistics for you. So
like literally, we are almost 3 times killed over our white counterparts. I know there's variables to everything. I don't like to use the word "it depends" because it kind of gray areas everything. We can't get to actual answers, so I'm not gonna say it depends on the situation. Right. But I mean, obviously, no matter the situation, we're getting killed at over 3 times rate than white folks.
And we're only 13% of the population.
And that's a big issue. That's a big issue. Now, the other stat I need to find out is how many times are white people being detained over black folks, just to kind of do the numbers.
And when you say detained,
police stops.
Okay.
You know, just being detained by the police to see how many times do the police encounter white people over black people, and then to see, okay, for example, if the police stop 1 million white people a year and stop 1 million black people a year, are they killing 300,000 of those black people over 100?
Exactly.
Like what is that? I'm a guy that's big on numbers.
100%. Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. You know, people I'm not. Lie. You know, feelings waver. If someone feels like this right now, that don't mean that they're going to feel like this in the next hour. So I really don't go off of my feelings. I go off of reality.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not saying feelings don't matter, but ultimately you cannot make any decision based on your feelings. It would always steer you wrong. Yeah. So I always want to go look at the numbers and see exactly what's really going on. So if somebody feels like you said, someone who was Caucasian said that they kill white people just as much as black people, you can feel that, but the reality is that it's not true. That's right. So it doesn't matter what you feel. It doesn't matter what you say.
In the court of law, because we see what's happening. And that's what I was going to lead to my next situation, because I think with our community and with everybody in America needs to look into history, because history tells you the present, what's going on right now. And one thing I had read up on and saw a video on the way that cops kind of apprehend black people is the same way they used to, slave catchers used to apprehend slaves back in the day. When slave catchers, which, I mean, people should look up the slave catchers. Like, that was a group of people that was hired by the state to make sure that slaves were on the right place and they weren't running away. So what they used to do was they patrol areas where a lot of black people were at and shake them down and be like, yo, what's your name and what plantation do you belong to? That sounds a whole lot when you get pulled over. What's your name? Where's your ID? And where you from? You know what I'm saying? When you see a lot of videos of black people on the wall with their hands behind their back on the wall, there's like a whole group of them, and they're trying to identify all the group at one time. Right. Which it happens to a lot of minorities too, because I've seen Hispanics like that too, walled up somewhere, and there's like 1 or 2 white cops, and they're all got them like, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. But that is relation to how they used to do slave catching back in the day. And a lot of people might not want to hear that, but if you do your research on that and you see, why are people getting treated like this? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, why are we double the amount of white people? I haven't seen a group of white people, you know what I'm saying, the way that we seen on TV. You go into these ghettos and you go into these places. I haven't seen a group of white people like on the wall, and they're just like, "Yo, what's your name? What's your ID? Where you from? What you doing?" They shaking you down. I haven't seen many of that. So I think we need to look into the history and see, like, or maybe cops need to change their way that they are approaching certain individuals, because I also need to understand that there's a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot, majority of us are probably even scared of the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we know what the cops have been in the past. You know. We believe that cops were supposed to serve and protect, but in my parents' generation, which is probably still in the same amount of generation, issue, the KKK their members were cops. Right. You know what I'm saying? So how can you call the people that actually are in your front yard burning crosses in your house, or putting bombs behind churches and stuff like that, who are literally lynching and beating the people, but they put the uniform on every morning? You know what I'm saying? Why are we calling these people in past generations? We were scared of those people. So in past generations, there were generations that raised us, you know what I'm saying? So I think cops have to understand that too. Like, you are built on a foundation of fear that when we see you, we probably not going to be treated fairly. Like, we're running from you because we know the outcome is not going to be fair. So I feel like that's a lot that's going to happen in the community as well.
Right. Is that why the Black Panthers was constructed?
Yeah, all gangs. A lot of black gangs that we have now were to feed the community and to protect the community.
From pretty much.
Yeah, the government.
Yeah, the government,
police. And police, yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Man, even the reparation talk and